come spend the week with me as a romance author with nothing to work on? After finishing my first draft last week, I've been left with some time to catch my breath. But the trouble is, as an indie author, there's a gigantic pile of guilt that comes with switching off because there is always something I could be doing. I think it's safe to say I'm seriously burnt out. My attention span is utterly shot, and it's been a struggle to keep my focus on any one thing all week. Saying that, I successfully prepped for the writing workshop I'm hosting at my local Waterstones later this month. I got to attend a launch night for a TV show I worked on in real life, and I let my creativity come out to play by allowing my brain to roll around in the million ideas for novellas I've previously started but never committed to. Why write a novella when I know exactly what my fourth book is going to be? Well, one of my goals is to increase my backlist, and that's a really long process when you take the best part of a year to write a book. So the idea is to get there a tiny bit faster by working on something small in the background of my main projects. That being said, I'm struggling to pick just one idea to work on, so I might end up putting it down to a vote. Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I'd been ignoring my fourth book because I knew just how many notes I had to sort through, and the idea of even taking a peek at the mess filled me with dread. But knowing that sometimes the hardest part of a task is starting it, I put my big author pants on and got stuck in. Which is how I ended up on my living room floor surrounded by tiny scraps of paper because I needed to be inside my book to make sense of it. Don't ask. I'm typically a pantser, but with each book I'm trying to outline more and more because it can be frustrating when you sit down to write and waste a session digging your way out of a plot hole that could have been avoided with some planning. I've been daydreaming about this book for so long now that I have a really strong idea of who my characters are at their core as well as the key events in the book, but there are still some gaps which I'm allowing myself to come back to later. Yes, you have just heard me talk about how I want to be more organised as a writer, but I do still need a little bit of wiggle room to enjoy the magic of discovery while I write. Because what am I doing this for if I'm not having fun? Despite the backache, I'm now in a much better place with book 4, and I'm currently in the process of moving whichever of my old notes still speak to me onto a brand new file, so when it does come time to start it properly, I don't have to be so scared of it. Wow, if this feels like it was all over the place, it's because it was. And I am. And I could really use a nap. Happy Sunday, friends.